Hey, what's going on, Scatterbrains? Thank you for coming back to another episode of Scatter Brilliancy. My name is Travis, and I'm here to review a brand new show. You know, it seems like summer 2019 is the summer of Charlotte shows, right? We have Married at First Sight Charlotte coming up in about 2 weeks, and today is the premiere of To Have and to Hold Charlotte, which is a new show on the OWN network. And it's a show I had no idea was being filmed, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna review it, but I was like, let me give the show a chance. So I watched the first episode yesterday, even though the premiere is tonight. So I'm gonna review it. We'll see if I can stick around long enough to actually like the show, but I'm trying to give it a chance since it's Charlotte, you know. So this show has a really large cast. It's 11 people in the cast, so I can only imagine what that budget is looking like, and I can't imagine that they get paid much anything per episode since there's so many people. But the show is pretty much Real Housewives, Love and Marriage, Huntsville, you know, those kind of shows. That's pretty much all it is. It's just another one of those. All of the couples are married. In the first episode, we meet 4 out of the 5 couples, and I don't know any of them. I don't know anybody on this show. I've never seen anybody on this show a day in my life. But we'll get back to that a little bit later. I'm filming downstairs because everybody is asleep and trying to take a nap upstairs. So I thought this was the most opportune time to do this review. So I'm gonna try to go through everything that happened in the first episode. Today will probably be more like a play-by-play, but we'll see if it actually stays that way. So the first couple that we're introduced to, their title, I guess you can say, is the Socialites, and that is Elaine and Yandrick. And I guess you would say that they're the anchor couple of the show. Elaine seems to be the one, maybe that's the connecting piece between all the women on the show. And I'll be willing to bet she's probably the person who put the show together. So a little bit of information about them. They're socialites. So you know that means they're in the social scene here in Charlotte, which I am not. She is a salon owner and he's an entrepreneur. They have 4 children. They met at some place that he owned here in Charlotte. The whole show, they didn't name drop anything. Like, they talked about all these places that different people work at and different things that they do, but they didn't name any of those things, I guess, for legality reasons, which I understand. So I can't really speak to where these people work because they didn't say. But they are self-proclaimed celebrities, and she says if you don't know them, you must be living under a rock. So this is my rock because I don't know them. Born and raised in Charlotte, I don't know them. But then again, they're all kind of older than me because he's about to celebrate his 42nd birthday in this episode. But yeah, there wasn't one person's face on this show. Well, there wasn't any main cast member's face on this show that I recognize. I do recognize Fly Ty and Jacinda. They have a radio show here in Charlotte on Sundays, and they also are like the hosts of the Hornets games, the basketball team. They host like in between. Y'all know I don't know sports, so like when they take a time out and you got to keep some entertainment going, they do that. And I know they just got married probably within like the last 5 years or so. So I recognize them, but I think they're more like friends to the show. They're not an actual couple on the show, which is probably a good thing for them. So back to Elaine and Yandrick, and like my Married at First Sight videos, we're gonna give most of these couples a nickname, just because I'm not gonna be saying 13 names for all these reviews. That's too many names. So from here moving forward, Yandrick and Elaine will be known as what name did I give them? Alandrick. That's them. Okay. So they both have fallen on hard times. His restaurant that he owned closed. Don't know what it is. Her salon that was apparently really successful closed. Don't know what that is, but she opened up a new salon, and I think he's still unemployed. But in this episode, they're planning for his 42nd birthday. Some of the things that they discussed was the fact that they have a child in private school, and that they both felt like they're trying to overcompensate the things that they do for their children because of their lives growing up. And of course, you know, I think most parents want to do better for their children than what they experience. So that makes sense. I did see a piece of her interview on Sister Circle where I think out of their 4 children, only one of them is in private school, because I think she said she needed it, or she is excelling the most, so they wanted to do that. But during the episode, they're talking about the financial stress of her being in a private school because it's expensive, which makes perfect sense. So that is Alandrick. And yeah, that's all I got for them. So this whole episode was pretty much introducing the couples and getting ready for Yandrick's birthday brunch thing. All right, so moving on, we have the Dinks. That is the name that the show gave them, which means double income, no kids. And that is Christine and Daryl. He's a financial planner. She's a spokesperson for a utility company. Didn't say what it is, so I'm gonna assume it's either Piedmont Natural or Duke Energy. They don't want kids. He wants kids, but she doesn't. He travels a lot for work, and she has this feeling that when people see her, they feel a certain kind of way because of the way she looks. She looks like an Instagram model, so I guess that's why she feels that way. I'm gonna call them the Dinks because I think that that's short and simple enough for me to remember. So that is the Dinks. The next up couple was the Empty Nesters. That was their names, and that is Ursula and Clinton. We're gonna call them Clursula. They've been married for 13 and a half years. They have a blended family. They both have 2 girls and, brought that thing together. So I'm assuming they don't have any children together. He's an IT professional. Don't know what company it's for. She's gotten him to be vegan, and during the episode, they do yoga. Not really much to say about them this episode. Moving on. The next couple that they showed the name for was the Modern Family, but we weren't introduced to them. We were somewhat introduced to one of the people in the Modern Family, and that's Peter. What I do know based on the Sister Circle interview is that Peter, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I don't know who. Peter is married to a man, and one of their ex-wives is still in the picture. So my guess is like, never mind, I'm not gonna say that. That might offend somebody. But they say, never mind, shut up, Travis. We'll meet them next episode. The last couple that we were introduced to, their title is On the Rocks, and that is David and Tayati. Tayati. I had to spell out phonetically how to say that. So we're gonna call them Divati. She's a judge and he's an attorney. They're looked at as the power couple on the show or within the group of friends. They have 2 children, and at this point in their marriage, they're just coexisting. I think the episode kind of marital-wise focused a lot on them. Despite them being seen as a power couple, they're dealing with some, I think they're in that place where you're in a routine and you just forget about the other person, and you put all your time and your energy into your careers and raising your children, that you don't put that same energy into each other. And so that's where they are. By the end of the episode, the best nights that he has, this is according to him, he says the best nights that he has is when she's away. And when he said that, I was just like, that's one thing about these reality TV shows is, you want to be real, but it's almost like, is your being real going to hurt your relationship more than it's going to help it? And only time will tell, but they decided they're going to do this nesting thing. And for those who don't know what nesting is, that means when one person is home, the other person is not. So they're going to do a week by week nesting, meaning one person is home and the other person is somewhere in Charlotte, just not at home. They start that at the end of the episode. But Tayati says that they have been in this rut for about 4 years. She does tell Elaine, is it Elaine or Elaine? I guess it's Elaine. She tells Elaine during the episode about, their marital issues, ask her not to tell anybody, but she tells one of the older ones, Ursula. She tells Ursula. I think that's Ursula. Yeah, I believe her name is Ursula. But anyway, she tells Ursula. So that's kind of how the episode ends. That'll probably be a main point for the show, is just seeing how their relationship either is fixed by this nesting thing or is hurt more by the nesting thing. Personally, I don't think that nesting is the best thing to do. I think space is okay, but I think not leaving the house, because I think when you leave the house, that's almost just like 1 foot out the door. You know what I mean? But it can work for people. It just depends. But I know for me personally, I would not choose that as my way of fixing my marriage. So my thoughts about the show overall. The show isn't bringing me anything new, reality TV wise. It's the standard reality TV show with Black people on it. It's not hood or ghetto or anything like that, or ratchet, but I mean, it's just, like I said, it's on the same level of a Housewives or a Love and Marriage. It's right in there. The cast is decent, there's no one that stands out as extremely, like, oh my God. I think the way that the previews were showing for this show, it almost made it seem like Elaine may be that person who's, everybody's like, oh my gosh. But the first episode, she was fine. She has a very big personality, so we'll see how that fares during the season. Tayati, for me, is probably gonna be the person that seems the most real, just because on the first episode they opened up to what they're going through. And I was scrolling through everybody's Instagram just seeing if anything stood out about any of them, and I saw that Tayati is a fellow Ram, so she's gonna have a special place in my heart for this show because we went to the same college. I want whoever produced the show, if they do a second season, to find other parts of Charlotte to film. They showed the metamorphosis sculpture, I don't know, like 3 times during this episode. And the metamorphosis sculpture is a sculpture by this Czech, I think he's a Czech Republic artist. And it spins, it's like a man's face, and it spins and it shoots out water. And they showed it like 3 times. So there's plenty of things in Charlotte. Let's get some other aerial footage, you know. Let's, you know, incorporate some more of that. But overall, the show is cool. It's well produced. It looks good. It doesn't look bootleg, which is great. It's not like a Real Side Chicks of Charlotte type show. So pleased about that. And it's on OWN. So, you know, I guess it's got to be up to a certain standard. So, you know, we will see how things go for to have and to hold Charlotte. The jury will remain out until we get about 5 episodes in. I wonder how long this season will be. And I probably wouldn't have bet that they would not have a reunion, because it seemed like Oprah shows don't do reunions like a VH1 or a Bravo. But overall, to have and to hold Charlotte is cool. It's interesting to see my city in a reality TV show. I'm gonna be watching it all summer because, you know, Married at First Sight is coming up, like I said. But if you watched the episode, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you think of the couples, the women, the men. Yeah, and I'll be talking to y'all soon. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you have not already. And hope everybody's been doing well. I have been doing very well, and I'll be telling y'all why later. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.